Way back in 2008, I knew a guy whose mom was in the hospital because she had cancer. And not only was she in the hospital, she was in the ICU. Can you guess how much it costs every day to keep her there? Keep in mind, this was 2008, and think about the amount of inflation we've had since then. 3, 2, 1, $20,000 a day. $20,000 a day in the ICU for cancer treatment. I moved to the Czech Republic in 2015 and had my first hospital trip ever. You might have heard some of the discussion or the debate on social media about the COVID vaccine causing, what was it called again? Myocarditis. It's an inflammation of one of the inner walls of the heart. It happens to men in their mid-20s right after a viral infection, getting sick. I was 26 years old and I had just contracted a virus that had been going around the English camp I was teaching at. The nurse at the camp called an ambulance, which drove me to a hospital about an hour away because they specialized in heart treatment. I had a fairly serious operation where they put a camera through the main vein of my leg to inspect the inside of my heart to make sure it wasn't a heart attack. Myocarditis imitates a heart attack, by the way. That's why they did this. I was having shooting pains down to my right elbow. Maybe it was the left. I don't remember which one's a heart attack. After that, they wrapped me up, put me in an ICU for 3 days. They kept me in the general ward for 2 weeks, gave me all my meals, kept me alive, helped me recover. Gave me a little iPad, too, where I discovered One Direction because my English assistant was... singing it all week at the Czech camp. After I got out of the hospital, they gave me the bill. My parents were like, how much was it? I said, $40,000. And they were like, I remember their faces falling. They were like, well, we can take out a loan. We can pay for this somehow. I said, no. 40,000 Czech crowns. It's about $2,000. The ambulance ride alone would have been $2,000.
How do we live in a country where people work their whole lives and then can't afford health care? I just paid a patient's Medicare deductible. I'm not telling you that to brag, and I'm not telling you that because I'm a saint, because I'm definitely not. I'm telling you that because we live in a country where people can work their entire lives and retire and then have to choose between buying groceries and paying for their health care. There was absolutely no reason for me to be in that office. I'd already been in that office once, but I somehow forgot to drop off the orders I was in there to drop off. And so as I made my way back downstairs, I stopped in and there was a couple standing at the window, and the lady told them it was going to be $154, and the lady looked at her husband and she's like, we don't have that. And the lady was like, I'm so sorry, we can't see you. We'll have to reschedule. And I slipped around the corner and I was like, do not do that to them. Don't do that. I'll pay it. Don't tell them, but I'll go to my car and I'll come pay you. And so I went back up there.
Living in Spain or living in another country on a digital nomad visa or any type of a visa situation like that is not all rainbows and unicorns. I have zero pipe dreams about the grass being greener on the other side. And especially when it comes to healthcare. Healthcare is much more affordable in Spain. But again, I don't have any kind of, twisted ideas of what socialized healthcare is. Yes, there can still be waits. Yes, there can still be hoops to jump through to get to the right person. However, the one thing that I'm excited about whenever we do make it over to Spain is that it is cheaper, because I'm basically facing the same thing here in the US. We don't have socialized medicine, at least at this point, but it is so complicated to get to the right doctor, to get the diagnosis. We've seen everything about the US healthcare system, and it's not good. And I'm paying out the wazoo. So half the time, like right now, I have
So I swallowed a toothpick whole on my last night in Brazil. And it ended up cementing for me in a very visceral way how ridiculous the American healthcare system is. And I'm not telling this story to glorify the Brazilian healthcare system. I don't know enough about it, although I do know that medical tourism to Brazil is a thing. I'm just telling this story to tell the story. But I swallowed this toothpick accidentally. And at this point, my friends and I, who had been splitting a place with, have gone our separate ways. I'm staying in a hostel for the last 2 nights. I'm concerned about it, obviously. But it's looking like there's not a huge percentage chance that it's going to puncture my intestinal lining. It's more than likely going to pass through. So I'm going back and forth about whether or not I should go to the hospital in this foreign country right now. And the guy who runs the hostel, who doesn't speak any English, by the way, and I don't speak any Portuguese, we're speaking through translators in Spanish, basically, is like, you should go. Honestly, I'm concerned. So he's like, I'll put you on a moto, I'll get on one with you, and we'll go to the next favela over, which is Rochina, which is much larger and has a hospital, unlike Vidigal. So I get on the back of one moto taxi, he gets on the back of another. This guy's driving so fucking fast down the coast, thin ass road along the cliffs. like dodging all these other taxis that are coming. He's breaking his neck every time he sees a woman. He's like, I don't like women. I love women. I'm like, bro, please drive this fucking motorcycle. Oh my God. But anyway, the point being, we get to Rochina. I get to the hospital. And again, not speaking any English, the guy kind of explains the situation for me. And they intake me. Within 15 minutes, I'm seeing a nurse. She's taking my vitals. She's asking me questions, intake forms, etc. I go back out. 10 minutes later, at most, right? I'm seeing an x-ray specialist. He's giving me multiple x-rays, right? From multiple angles. After that, I'm going back out. 5 minutes later, I'm seeing the doctor. We're having a consultation. He's reviewing the x-rays. After that, he writes me a prescription for gut health specific, like not ibuprofen, like gut health specific medicine that they're trying to hand to me. Not empty in this hospital, by the way, right? They're dealing with a gunshot wound, dislocated shoulder, a bunch of other patients. And there's this moment of miscommunication where like, it's partly because it's late at night, partly because I don't speak Portuguese, partly because this whole situation was harrowing. But like, they're trying to hand me these pills. I'm like, bro, like, I don't want these. Like, I don't want to pay for these or whatever. And the guy is so confused. And the guy who came with me, he's not understanding what I'm saying either. And it takes like 2 minutes for me to realize, like, all of it was free. Like, the x-ray was free. The consultation was free. The pills were free. I was seen within 20 to 25 minutes in this hospital. And it's not like I got to skip the line or anything like that. They were just cycling through people very efficiently in the largest favela in Rio at like 1 a.m. in the morning. It really felt like a scripted moment. And that was my first time engaging with a universal healthcare system ever. And in a weird way, it was the perfect punctuation to my Brazil trip, right? Because I was staying there with two women who are intent on moving to Brazil, right? They're serious about it. They're learning Portuguese. And I had an amazing time. I don't think I would have had the time I had if I didn't stay with the people.
My medication, it runs $20,000 a month without insurance. I make $800 a month. Oh, that will kill me. That would kill my friends. That would kill millions of people in this country if they lose their health care.
We're in California's District 22, a rural community in the state's Central Valley. This district voted for Trump for the first time in 2024, but now his policies threaten one of the benefits people here rely on the most.
It bothers me when people like Elon Musk say that people on those programs are the parasite class. It's just cruel.
Do you know anyone personally who voted for President Trump but depends on benefits like Medicaid?
Oh yeah, I know a lot of people.
Trump promised a lot of things. I thought it would be more family values and those programs that they really need here.
One of those promises was to protect Medicaid, which 67% of people in this district rely on. It's the largest percentage of any district in the entire country.
Can you guarantee that Medicare, Medicaid will not be touched?
Yeah, I mean, I have said it so many times, we're not going to touch it.
But his administration just proposed an $880 billion cut to Medicaid over the next 10 years. So we wanted to come here to find out how people are feeling about Trump and his administration's decision that could have a huge impact on one of the benefits they rely on the most. One resident who would be impacted by Medicaid cuts is 64-year-old Irma Arredondo, who voted for Trump in 2024. Irma has several chronic health issues, including type 1 diabetes. She's also a full-time caregiver for her daughter, who has cerebral palsy, and her sister, who has Turner syndrome.
Valerie has her medication for her seizures. She needs care everything. And I just give massage to her hands, to her legs. I stay with her until she falls asleep.
Sounds like you take really good care of her.
Oh, and my baby is my dog.
So you, your sister Irene, and your daughter Valerie, you're all on Medicaid. And how important is Medicaid for your family?
Wow, can you imagine? We live on a daily basis with sicknesses. This is for the cholesterol too. This is also for my blood pressure.
So Medicaid pays for all of it?
Yes.
If you didn't have Medicaid, how much would this cost you? How much money?
Oh, thousands maybe.
Thousands. And that's just for you?
That's for me.
Not for your daughter? Not for your sister?
No. The medicine that my daughter takes for seizures, I won't be able to afford it. So we feel hopeless if those cuts come, you know. What we're going to do.
Irma was a farm worker for more than a decade. She believes that some of her and her children's health issues can be linked to the pesticides she was exposed to while working in the fields.
When I was pregnant with my child, I was working in the field. I remember it was this little airplane and sprayed us. But when my baby born, the doctor just said, "Uh-oh, something's missing." And when he gave me my baby doesn't have her arm.
So with these risks that you and your community face in agriculture, and then to have the system threaten to take away your health insurance, to take away protection, how does it make you feel?
Like I told you, I feel like these tubby nuts in the back, but why when we put food on their tables, that we risk our health. Look at me right now. Look at me, how many sicknesses that I have. The COPD, I didn't have COPD at that time. We got all in the fields. Where else?
We're seeking permanent income tax cuts all across the board.
The $880 billion in Medicaid cuts proposed in President Trump's budget will help pay to permanently extend his 2017 tax cuts.
The largest tax breaks would go to the wealthiest individuals. Are those your values?
No, that's not right. ¿Por qué van a hacer tanto recorte? Sí, tanto recorte. ¿En dónde lo van a poner ese dinero? ¿Dónde?
In the last election, who did you vote for?
I feel embarrassed to tell you, but before all the years back, since I got my citizenship, I said I was a Democrat, but then in these last elections I voted as a Republican. Why? Because I'm against abortion. Para mí la palabra conservador es tener valores. Like I grew up with values, con las enseñanzas de mis padres.
Family values.
Family values.
Irma isn't the only one in District 22 who feels betrayed by the administration's plan to gut Medicaid.
The only people they're hurting are the poor people. People that really need the stuff. Elon Musk doesn't need it. Trump doesn't need it. And, billionaires don't need it.
They're making out big time with this, but they're hurting people in the process.
District 22's representative is David Valadeo, a Republican who voted in favor of the budget resolution to cut Medicaid, after initially voicing concerns about how potential cuts to social programs could affect his constituents. If just 2 Republicans vote no on the final legislation, they could stop Medicaid from being cut.
The folks in this district have voted for him because he, in the past, has been able to stand up against his party. But now he's really stuck between a rock and a hard place because it seems as if the Trump administration is going to really ask for loyalty from him and for him to play ball on every single issue, not just the issues that play well in this district. And so that might mean that they expect him to vote for things that are going to hurt his constituents directly.
If we could go back to November, who would you vote for now, seeing what you see?
For those of you that think that people are wrong for wanting their taxpayer dollars to go to health care for everyone, just know that we give $10 million every single day to Israel for free health care. We just gave $40 billion to Argentina and probably more, and they have free health care and free education. We have $1 trillion that we spend on the military. We have plenty of taxpayer dollars coming in. It's just not where the billionaires want us to spend it. Republicans love war. They don't like helping people because it's not profitable. This was all in Project 2025. So for all of you that say you don't want to pay for healthcare, you're already paying for healthcare every day with your taxpayer dollars to Israel and Argentina.
American explains what his healthcare experience was like when he was in Europe.
So when I was in Amsterdam, I hurt my foot. I went dancing for too long in a nightclub.
What? What? Are you kidding me? That cannot be the start of this story. That's seriously what happened? That's what this is? Okay, I mean, he must have had a really good time. He must have had a really good time. He hurt his foot dancing. Well, let me tell you, here in the United States, for a lot of us, that's probably where this story would have ended. Like, if you hurt your foot dancing here in the United States, it's like, it could cost you a lot of money to go to the doctor, depending on what kind of treatment you're going to need, all the evaluations, the scans, and for a lot of Americans, you know, even with health insurance, that's a nightmare. So a lot of Americans, if this happened here, you hurt your foot or whatever, a lot of us would probably try to ignore it. So it's funny how this wouldn't even be a story here.
And the next morning when I woke up, my foot was like, it hurt really bad. It really felt like someone had like taken a hammer and almost smashed right behind my toes on my left foot.
What?
And it was swollen, but there was no marking, so it really, I was kind of confused. I was like, why does it hurt?
How hard was he dancing? Oh my God. Respect. But seriously, yeah, you're out having a good time, you hurt your foot, you wake up, and the next day it's like even worse. That's concerning. Like, no matter who you are or where you are, that's really concerning. So I'm curious, like, what the first thing he did was. Like, do you go to the emergency room, or like how quickly can you get help, I guess, is what I'm wondering.
I guess I just had overstressed it. So I took it easy for a couple days, and then I decided. Then I went on a walking tour of Amsterdam. I did a guided tour of the red light district and this like museum tour and stuff like that.
That must have
hurt. I was
hurt.
walking around for like 2 hours straight.